Hello, my name is Zach Malkus, and this is my final video presentation for English 214. For my community service hours, I participated in Surfriders beach cleanups. These consisted of using gloves and a tong sort of tool to pick up trash, put it in buckets, and then we later sorted through the trash, sorting out the stuff that could potentially be dangerous for other workers handling the trash. And this was an important event because trash cans, as you can see, overflow. So people, instead of throwing their trash away, they just throw it in the pile of trash on the ground. And this results mainly from people living on the sidewalk or just leaving their stuff on the sidewalk, overflowing trash cans, and overpopulated beaches. And for the other portion of my community service hours, I helped my mom's friend, who happens to be an elementary school teacher. I helped her sort her students' work out. This consisted of projects, homework, and in-class assignments. And I pretty much just, as you can see in this example, stapled them through the hallways of the school to portray the students' work and their accomplishments. And this was very beneficial because it gave me a lot of hours, and it also taught me how to handle schoolwork and students' work. My editorial response was based off of an opinion that I found on the internet. This opinion was written by the director of the Wampus Cat Student News. His opinion is that skateboarding is not a sport, and I have evidence that proves this otherwise. Based off of the definition of a sport, skateboarding is a sport because contests are held that entertain roaring crowds such as Street League. Another factor is skateboarding is very fun. Another factor is skateboarding takes place outdoors, so it is a physical activity. And normal people see skateboarding objects as normal objects. However, skateboarders find ways to do tricks that make them able to do stuff that normal people cannot do. So therefore, it requires physical expertise in order to perform the sport. The tanka that I wrote is volunteering at an elementary school. I thought it would be pretty cool. Then I realized I was their tool. Piles of pointless projects I needed to taper just to get a signature on this paper. The reason I wrote this is because, if we're being honest, most of us would not have done the community service that we had to do for this class. But due to the assignment, I was put in a situation where I ended up helping at an elementary school where I was forced to help other teachers. Not that that's a negative thing, it sounds kind of negative, but otherwise I wouldn't put myself in that situation. And I ended up learning a lot from this, organizing elementary school papers and seeing how the whole system works at the elementary school. One similarity that I found in my community service hours was from Paul Piff's TED Talk. In Piff's TED Talk, he explains that people that are socially higher than other individuals tend to put themselves before other individuals and do stuff that tends to be negative towards these lower individuals. I personally am not the wealthiest individual in the world, and I also don't consider myself to be poor in any way. So I try to live myself as a neutral individual, not doing anything to put anyone down or anything of that sort. In Paul's video, he uses an experiment where he puts out a jar of gumballs that is supposedly for autistic children, and then watches old individuals take from the jar. This somewhat relates to my experience with Surfrider because the trash cans started overflowing, so people tend to just throw their trash on the floor instead of to find another trash can that could hold their trash. This is similar to the gumball example because instead of taking the right route, people just took the easy route for their advantage. Another similarity that I found within my community service hours was from Nicholas Kristof's passage about organizations that do their best to give back to their community. Kristof mentions Lester Strong. Strong was a student, and he was put down by his teachers and parents, and due to that, he was given a mental barrier until he overcame it and continued his education. As a kid, Strong was put down by his parents and teachers, and this resulted in his education not going to the fullest extent. Once he overcame this barrier, he finished his education and went on to do great things. To this day, Strong is mentoring students kindergarten through 3rd grade that are struggling in order to boost their ability so that they are not held back in life. As you can see from the Lester Strong example, attention is very important at a young age to boost the ability of kids. Lack of attention and motivation at an early age can have detrimental effects on students. My community service hours portrayed my efforts to help students at a young age. I helped organize their projects and work in order to portray their accomplishments to boost their confidence in their work. These 2 community service opportunities have taught me many life skills that I can take on into the future. They have given me an attitude that will allow me to help people without doubting myself. As I get older, I will be around more and more children, and I will be able to use the skills that I obtained in the community service hours further in life when I'm around these children. One example of when I've already used these skills is the other day when I was at Golden Gate Park. We were making hot dogs and a homeless man encountered us and started talking to us. Instead of judging him, I decided to hear him out, and we ended up giving him some food, and the night was great because we met a new friend and he got some food out of it. Thank you for listening to my final video presentation.